Hi, I'm Tracy, and I want to rant against spoons, and particularly against the idea of spoons as a metaphor for energy in particular chronic diseases. In case you haven't heard of spoon theory, there is this metaphor very commonly used among spoonies uh, that everyone has a certain amount of energy, and we could visualize this by by a number of spoons. Maybe you've got 10 spoons, I've got 5 spoons each day. And as the day goes on, we use a spoon because we're doing something, then we use another spoon, then we use another spoon. And you have 10, so you might not run out. And I have 5, and I'm going to run out sooner than you are. And then I will be really tired. I will crash. Well, that sounds pretty simple. And perhaps it's true for the disease it was coined for, which was lupus, as I understand. But for me, with ME/CFS slash long COVID, it doesn't really work very well. And so this is my rant about that. So, what's wrong with spoons? First of all, I wouldn't use spoons no matter what it was because it could be anything. It's just distracting. Why spoons? What's the connection between spoons and energy? It wasn't like spoons to eat with or anything. It's just spoons. I could run out of spoons during the day. Well, you know what? When I run out of spoons during the day, I wash more spoons. It's not a tragedy. It's not a big deal. When I run out of energy, it's a big deal. Um, and second of all, spoons are just this one thing, and everyone's got this limitation. It's just a question of how big of a limitation it is, whether you're healthy or not. Well, when I crash, I don't just run out of energy. I'm not just tired. I have all sorts of problems, different sorts of pains, digestive issues, immune problems. I mean, it it's wide ranging. It is not the same as when I got tired before I got sick. So it gives a false impression that chronic fatigue syndrome is just about fatigue. Please don't call me a spoonie unless that's what you think. Beyond that, it doesn't really capture what goes on when I trigger post exertional malaise. Some people with ME/CFS apparently do not have a delay between overdoing things and knowing that they overdid it through post exertional malaise, getting the symptoms of post exertional malaise. But the majority do. And so if we were using the idea of spoons, then, well, I have like 5 spoons, and I overdo it on a good day. I'll overdo it after 3 spoons, and but I still have 2 spoons left. I don't know that I've done something wrong. I still feel energy, but 2 days later, I'm going to wake up crashed. I guess 0 spoons. But I mean, isn't that a little confusing and distracting to use spoons as a metaphor? I could just say I have an unknown threshold, and I have a general sense of what might trigger it, but I don't know for sure when I've crossed that threshold. And I will still feel good today after crossing that threshold, but it triggers something, a process that means that 2 days from now, I'm just I'm going to be laid out in bed for hours, and I'm going to have all sorts of pains, which I could enumerate, but I'm not going to here. That's how it works. It's much more accurate than using spoons, and I think it's probably simpler for other people to understand, because if I use the spoon analogy, I've got to explain why spoons are the analogy. So let's just skip the spoons. If you need a metaphor, I would suggest a bank account works better, and as you rest, you increase your balance. It's like interest accruing maybe, and you do other good things, take the right pills, whatever, interest accruing, but you exceed your budget of energy, and all of a sudden your credit rating goes down and you're hit with an insufficient funds uh, fee that's exorbitant, and significantly bad things happen. Something like that beats running out of spoons. Okay, well, that's the rant. Uh, Hopefully, I haven't exceeded my threshold without knowing it, but I won't know for another couple of days. So please drop drop the whole spoon metaphor thing, and I suggest just try describing what your problem is.